Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Hustle Chronicles, where we hear from all sorts of different types of businesses and we learn all about them. Today, we have a very special guest with us who's going to talk about his business with us. Hi, Amit.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Do you want to start by telling us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
My name is Amith Sebastian, and I joined Brunel as an international student. I finished my master's in law in the year 2023, and I got graduated last year. And right now, I am a founder of the company called Wise Consultant Limited, and we deal with scams, any type of scam, irrespective of investment, job scam, recruitment scam, romance scam. You just name it. Everything we just handle it with the help of the authorities in the United Kingdom. So we are a team of three, myself, my wife, and one of my friend. So we three deal with it. And so far as it's been 7 months, we registered our company under the United Kingdom Companies Act, and we are all good, going to universities and helping students. Yeah, That's about it. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Do you want to talk a bit about what led you to starting this business? Like, what was your motivation behind it?
Yeah, it was, to be honest, it was not a motivation. It came from my personal experience because I, after getting graduated from the university, I fell as a prey for a scam, and that was an investment scam. So I was working at the same time, then I thought, why can't think about some extra money? But it was a proper scam, and when I reported that, it was too late because it was considerably a big amount I lost. And that was all my savings, which I got from my home country to the United Kingdom, because I stay with my wife, and staying in London is not so easy with a family. So it was a tough time for me. And then I realized I should take up this matter. I went to the bank. They said, no, it's your mistake. It's your money you lost, and you should have been proactive to deal with scammers. But I never know about it because then I went to the authority, the police. And then the police told me you need to go to the Action Fraud Department. So then and there, I started doing my homework, my hard work. I used the Brunel Library, always open to me as a student. So I used the resources over there, and I found out there is someone who sits on top of the bank, and that's a financial ombudsman. So, but that's not easy to tackle and go to an ombudsman because you need to know how to draft your complaint, and you need legal knowledge. And that's what comes from what I did in my master's, a master's in law. And I referred case laws. I took up the matter to them. And when I met the Action Fraud Department, the police officers told me, you fell a prey for the scammers, and it's not within the United Kingdom. And we cannot do much about it. What we can do is you refer the case to us. We will see if there is a room to do some kind of investigation. I waited for around a month, and then I realized I get an email from them saying that the matter is reported, but it's been done in some part of Asia or the Eastern European country. So devastated, I thought that I lost my money. I went to the ombudsman, and the ombudsman said, you need to wait for 2 months. But to be honest, I literally wait for 1 year. Nothing came back to me.
Oh, no.
And then I realized, they come back to me by saying that, all right, there's a mistake in your part as well as the bank's. So what we're going to do is that we're going to give you 20% of what you lost. I was not happy about it because the amount lost was considerably a huge amount.
Yeah.
As keeping that in mind, I said that I'm going to go for appeal. So in ombudsman, there are different scenarios. You got case investigator, you got financial ombudsman, you got the senior one sitting on top. And that's going to take another big time, 6 months' time. I waited, and then he come up with a story and says that, no, you're not going to give you any money out of it. So I questioned him in different ways because being a lawyer, I asked him, did you understand there's a question of law involved in this? And you talk about question of law, you talk about question of fact. So he gave me a reply, which was I was not able to digest that. And then they asked me to put the review in Trustpilot about the ombudsman service.
Yeah.
I was not really happy. I just wrote what it was. And then I had to take the matter to the court because the court in the UK can hear your matter when the appeal, if you go with an appeal.
Yeah.
Because ombudsman is a person who doesn't have that legal knowledge. So going through that, but I managed to get around, I will say 70% of my money.
Okay.
But I will say that's not bad with a student experience. And I didn't have much. It's all my hard work and homework.
Yeah.
So I thought like, okay, let me try my level best. But I was able to get the 70% plus. I got an 8% interest on the money what I lost from the time I lost. So it's whatever different banks. And then I understood the difference between banks in the UK. I was with about Revolut. It's a digital bank. At that time, it was not a bank. It's a financial institution. Then that's the difference I understood with high-end banks. Like you talk about Halifax, you talk about NatWest, you talk about Barclays. So if you would have lost from there, they should have some security measures in place.
Yeah.
So then it's a time for me to see if I can help more students who suffered like me.
Yeah.
But when I talk to people, what I understand is they are really shy to tell you that they lost this money.
Yeah.
They think that, all right, it's an embarrassing situation. I'm not going to tell that I lost money to someone.
Yeah.
So that's why I started with the help of Brunel. I started freelancing. I was able to help 3 students from Brunel last year.
Oh, wow.
2 students from University of Portsmouth.
Yeah.
And 1 student from Queen's Mary College in London.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So out of 7 students, literally, I was able to help them 6 to get their funds. But the 7th file was rejected. The reason being that the money went from that person's account a month. So that means they look at a human being, a rational person, use your common sense. When you are losing money, not in a successive way, so you have got the time to think, all right, first month I lost this much money, I'm going to wait. No, but then why did you do it again? If you know it's a scam. But situations are different when you go people to people. They lose one day, the next day, the third day. So that's case to case, it depends. So that's what they are. Then I think, all right, it's the high time for me to register it as a company.
Yeah.
And rather than doing it as freelancing. And the good part was last year I attended the Brunel University freelancing competition and I won the award too.
Oh, wow.
I got a cash prize. That's what then I thought, all right, let me go ahead and do it. I got cash award. I was being a part of the societies in between. And then I spread my word and now there we are. We registered and we are going good.
Oh, I mean, that is so amazing because I think scammers, like I've heard that scammers target university students.
Exactly.
I mean, I remember one of my friends, this was a while back, but she wanted to create a website and then she went on like this website called Fiverr and she hired someone to make the website for her and she paid £500 to the woman and then the woman just blocked her on everything. And my friend was so upset, because she wanted this website and there was some woman, I think someone in Nigeria, like just scammed her out of her money.
That's right.
It's horrible. So the fact that, you started this company like from your own experience and you're using that to help other people is really amazing. Go. So before your master's degree, you worked with American and Canadian lawyers, is that right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because as I told you, I'm an international student. I come from India. So I finished my bachelor's in law in the year 2014. So there was a gap of around 7 years. And I used to work with the American and Canadian attorneys. And really, I just joined as an agent over there. Then I got promoted to the position of team leader because I believe that was my passion to work with the lawyers.
Yeah.
And then I realized after talking to one of the American lawyer, he said, why don't you think about, enhancing your education? And there I think about, that's something crooked people tell to me because why don't you go to the US rather than you came to UK? Then I had an answer to them because in India, still we follow the law, what the Britishers taught us. And it's always good to go ahead and learn from the root. So you go there, you understand the law. So it will be really easy for you to. Then I applied to Brunel. That was the first university I applied. And they said, you are all good to come here.
Oh,
and I was
wow.
happy that I'm going to study where the root started it, Yeah.
So working across like different legal systems, how has that influenced your own approach to law? if that question makes sense.
Yeah, because what I understand is I worked in the UK law firms. I work for 3 different law firms. So what I basically understand is like everywhere the law is going to be not different. When you talk about the American system, they talk about their not only just fundamental right, they talk about their constitutional right. But in the UK, I mean, you just don't talk about your constitutional right, but here comes the human rights.
Yeah.
But if you go back to Asia, where I come from, we don't have any rights to talk about there. So it depends upon. So that's the civilization I understand. You know, when you move from country to country, you got your rights, and people are aware of it.
Yeah.
Because if you just can't point a person and say that, all right, a company or an organization talk to an individual, the individual come up with you saying that I have, or this is my fundamental right,
Yeah.
and you can't question me. So same goes with the constitutional rights. I say that deep inside, I will say that it was a great learning experience for me because they talk about how the law formed about it. In UK, my first company was a parking company. So I was sitting and doing all the back-end legal system. People come up with and say to me like, oh, I parked over there, this, that. So I'll listen to the story. If it was genuine, I used to waive off there, or else you need to pay 60 quid. All right.
Okay. Oh.
But then I realized, all right, now it's high time for me to get in something. And then I moved to a company where it was dealing with immigration, asylum, refugee system. But that gave me a lot of outlook towards how asylum works in the United Kingdom. To be honest, I was zero in that. I never know because I heard people telling you can become an asylum seeker.
Yeah.
But there is a different law behind it. People tell that they take boats, they come to the United Kingdom, they go to France.
Yeah.
So I understand, as a normal person, I understand it's about you got some civil issue, a civil war going in your country, and
Yeah.
you get asylum. But no. But so I learned that so many factors in that. Then the scam happened.
Yeah.
And everything just, I quit my job because I couldn't take up that stress because
Oh,
that was
yeah, I
all
can
my
imagine.
savings. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the stress of that situation, and like you
Exactly.
said, you
Yeah,
lost
yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of money as well. I mean,
Yeah.
that would have taken a toll on anyone.
But I would like
know.
to say, I really appreciate the work NHS has done here. The counseling sessions I got.
Oh, yeah.
So they literally help me. It's not the money way. They, as a person, they look at your mental well-being. So
Yeah,
my
yeah.
GP, everyone helped me out a lot. So
Yeah.
they said you need to come out of this situation. We know it's quite devastating and tough situation for. But yeah, that's a great thing to come out of that. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a good point actually for anyone who might have gone through
Yeah.
something similar or
Yeah.
anyone who might have been scammed or anything
Yeah.
like that. I can only imagine it would take a toll on your mental health. So to seek out help,
Exactly.
counselling and, seeking help from the NHS, you said.
Exactly.
And the NHS, yeah, counselling, I went on the NHS counselling like 3 years ago, I think.
All right.
And now I do counselling with Brunel University, but just talking to someone and knowing that you're not alone in the situation.
Exactly. That matters a lot.
Exactly, yeah.
A
Because
lot.
when you're going through something especially so devastating like that, as you said, and to keep that all to yourself, that is a lot to carry, So, to share that with other people,
Yeah.
it's really something.
That's right.
Yeah.
Adding to that, in my voice, we have even people, those who lost money, and when they come to you, we understand they are the victim of a scam.
Yes.
So
yeah.
I always tell them, I refer them to NHS. 2 things I do initially is, one, they should go to the mental well-being, NHS, and the second thing, they need to meet the action fraud department. So that's a kind of branch of the United Kingdom where the police will see if there's a room to investigate the matter and whether the scammers are within the UK. So these
Yeah.
are the 2 things I always tell to people. Register your case under action fraud, get mental support from NHS, which is totally free.
Yeah, I mean, that is very, very good advice for
yeah,
anyone who can relate. So thank you for that.
That's all right.
So when you were studying at Brunel for your master's, you had a placement as a paralegal, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Could
yeah.
you talk a little bit about that?
Oh, yeah, sure. So I came in to do my master's in law, and I finished my master's in just 1 year. But keeping my experience, Brunel was really supportive when it comes to the personal development cell to apply for jobs. And with my experience, luckily I got into a law firm. That's a parking company I was referring earlier.
Yeah.
So I got a job over there, and after 3 months, they said that we believe that you can do it. So they extended my contract for 1 year. Then when I contacted Brunel University, they said like, all right, you got a job and they are placing you on a permanent basis with the package. So they gave me a 1-year visa, which is another placement year. So I can say that I have utilized that 100% because I worked there, and 6 months I told you about the immigration law firm. Then I told them that I'm going to plan to move into a different law firm. And that's what I love, the beauty of Brunel University. They said you can change 3 law firms in a year. I didn't change 3, but I went to the second one.
Yeah.
And I was updating the Brunel University about it. So I can say that Brunel University comes with a very good package for a student,
Yeah.
irrespective of you are international, you are local, it doesn't matter. They really help you in all the ways. So I learned about it, and they were really supportive in all my placement year. Yeah, that was about it.
I mean, in my experience is a bit different. I'm a film student, but I can say that Brunel is always really supportive. Like my lecturers are always supportive, or the placements I've done as well. I've always got a lot of support to, like with my CV, for example, or cover letters or something like that. Yeah. So I would say to anyone watching as well, any students, is, don't be afraid to ask people for help. It's kind of what I said before, don't be afraid to ask for help because, in my first and second year, for example, like I was struggling to find a job, but I was too shy to actually ask anyone, or any placements. I was too shy to like ask for help. And then when I actually started asking people for help, I managed to get placements and things started moving. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Honestly, we all need help sometimes, right? Yeah.
But I remember the scenario when I went for the job application the first time I went to the Brunel. They said like, first of all, you need to change your email address. I had a crazy email address which sounds like James Bond 007. John Amit. He said, no, please don't put in your CV. You're not going to get a job.
Oh, gosh. So as an international student, what advice would you give other international students about moving from academia to the workforce, like the transition?
So what I believe is that Brunel University is a great platform, first of all, because they support you in finding a job. I will say 100% they're going to support you, because if you really have a mission, like, starting from your academics, then you need to really think about getting a job, because you shell out huge money to come to UK to do your studies. So if you want to keep that in mind, try to take all the opportunities. Like if not from Brunel University, go to the job fair. There are so many job fairs happening in London itself. So if I have seen people coming from outskirts of London to London, and they stay here and work. So what I believe is that opportunities will not come to you. You need to go and search in that. You need to hunt it down. But you might get right contacts when you study. Like you said, you were really shy. You are not thinking about, shall I ask for help? You need to reach out. You need to reach out. Because when I was getting placed, my friend, she asked me, how did you get placed? I said, I contacted, and they said there are some offers. Just go and give your interview. There's no harm.
Exactly.
Just if you give your best shot, and if you couldn't do it, just leave it.
Exactly.
Otherwise, I'll say that Brunel University is there to, they will be rooting you every time. That's what I will say.
Honestly.
But when you become moving from academic, that's what I learned in my life. You should have a professional environment. By saying that, I talk about punctuality. I talk about the way in a working environment. While I was doing after my law thing, I just deviated my work schedule to Virgin Atlantic. I worked with Virgin Atlantic customer care. So amazing thing, working with Virgin, wearing that red uniform. Everyone were like, oh yeah, we're going to rock it down. British Airways, we got blue, we got red. So, that kind of stuff. But so that's what, then I realized that, it's a different environment. You talk to people, you see the whole world. You see a lot of people. So I really love that because in Brunel, I see people from different parts of the world. In airport, the same thing happens.
Yeah.
So I think like you have your professional thing within you, like as I said, punctuality. You should be, very, very professional in your environment. So that's what I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's really good advice. Thank you.
Yeah.
And picking up on something that you said, like putting yourself out there. Honestly, like nobody is going to be able to give you a job if they don't know you exist. just saying. I'm just saying. You can quote me on that, but yeah, they're not. If you hide, like I would know because this was me. Like I said, I was always so shy and everything. Yeah. But if you hide away, how is anyone going to know that you want a job? So you have to put yourself out there, and like you said, just give it a shot. I mean, the worst that can happen is that they will say no, and there's going to be other opportunities. At least you tried, because otherwise, if you don't try, then nothing's going to move forward. And you're not really going to progress. So
no, because I believe that when I came here last year to collect my cash award as the best entrepreneur for the year, a freelancer, then a lady came into me and asked, "Sir, I also finished my master's in law. Do you think I can apply a job in your firm?" So that's what, she's trying to understand if she can fit into. I said, "Not now, we are recruiting, but surely after December you can come to me."
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I credit her for that, just making the move.
Like that.
Yeah,
she
exactly.
Proactively came and asked me about it. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. And then when the time comes, like when you just give, like you network and you give people your name, maybe in the moment they might just be like, okay, we don't need you. But then in the future they might think, okay, I remember,
Yeah.
So yeah, that is very good. It takes courage, but honestly, it gets you places, right? Yeah. So when you were at Brunel, you were president of the Catholic Society, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Could you tell us a bit more about what you did? And
Yeah, sure. So by faith, I'm a Catholic, and my family, they're really, really orthodox, conservative, I can say, So all those kind of going to church every day in the morning. So I was an altar boy when I started when I was young. So when I came in here, I was just really trying to find out, all right, are there any Indians? Are there any faith? So that's what I was really moved about with the Catholic society here. Because when I came in there, it was just 3 or 4 members. And I was like, all right, that's okay with me, but I can understand here. People come from different countries.
Yeah.
So they that's what I was telling about the dimensions of Brunel University. They give each and every society its beauty is there. That's what they give you, that kind of room. All right, go ahead, meet people, and irrespective of you being any, I will say I have friends from all faith. I have friends from Hindus, Muslims, Jews. Everywhere I have friends. So that's the beauty about it. So when I joined, I was really active in the society. But then I was thinking in deep bottom of my mind, this 5 members, it's not going to work out. We need to do something about it. So I was continuously the president of the Brunel Catholic Society 2 years. From 4 members, now it's literally stick up to 23 members last year.
Yeah, that's good.
I did a lot of hard work. And I remember I came to this podcast last year. I talked to Jeffrey at that point of time.
Yeah.
So that was really good because I still remember when I checked that the YouTube version, I see more than 1,000 students view it. And that helped me to reach out to a lot of students, a lot. So that it's not like you just talk to them about the faith of Catholics. You talk in general about Christianity. And I have friends, there's one Muslim guy and one guy, he's Hindu. They used to come to our meetings. We're not preaching them. We are just talking about what happened in your life. So then from here, I went to the Newmans in London, met different people, personalities. And even I got an opportunity, I believe last year when Boris Johnson was the member of parliament from Oxford. I met him too and he even asked about Brunel University, how the societies work. And even he asked me, is there any racism in Brunel? I said, no, we're all good, perfect. So that's the other part of story. So it was really good. So I have developed a lot of things in that now. I think this year they have 25 plus students.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but for me it was really, I won't say it's not only me, because people who come from their home country, you come from thousands and thousands of miles, and then
Yeah.
if you have a people that share your own interest,
Yeah.
your own religion, then, I mean, I was a person, I won't say that I go to church every day, but then I met people,
Yeah.
they started like, all right, we will be meeting you after the Mass.
Yeah.
There's a church a Roman Catholic church in Uxbridge. So we used to meet out there and we go for coffee. I mean, that's really good.
That is
That's
really nice.
good.
Yeah.
And you have people from different countries. You're not talking about only from India. You have people from Pakistan. You have people from Dubai. You have people from Middle East. Even a part of, I will say, we have a friend. She was from Israel. She was being a part of Jewish community as well as the Catholic community. That was the beauty about it. But I will say that each and every step, Brunel supported a lot.
That is really good to hear, like all the work you did for the society, and you saying that it went from such a small number to obviously it grew, and just, I mean, it sounds like it was a really welcoming atmosphere where people of different ethnicities could come and just talk about faith and that is really nice. So in regards to this society, what was the most rewarding part of it for you?
What I believe was that I could outreach to so many students.
Yeah.
So that's what I will say, that kind of, if you put in business term, it's networking at the same time, because you reach out to a lot of students.
Yeah.
You're just, if I talk to you, when I say something about myself and what my company does, you will go and spread that to
That's
people.
true.
So that's how you build your network.
That is very
So
true.
I think that's one of the things, and I believe that I could bring a lot of faith in youngsters. So I used to talk about, as a president of the society, I used to talk to students about my way of life and how I go to church, because I still believe one of the message I used to give to every student, you have time for everything in your life. You have time for your friends. You have time to party. You have time to do your work. You have time to attend college. So don't you have a day for God? That was my question, as simple as that. You do everything. Don't you have a day? I'm not asking the full day. 24 hours you got on a Sunday. Don't you have an hour to it?
Yeah.
I can say that sentence has literally touched a lot of students. I'm not talking about students just from Africa, from Asia. They came and told me that was something which really touched us. And that's what we kept it as. All right, we're going to meet every Sunday in the mosque. And the priest over there, he used to announce, we got so many students from Brunel University here. You can meet the president and the students outside after the mosque. And I still believe when we used to gather outside the church, the people just random come and say that, all right, you guys are doing very good in the faith. We would love to see you. I mean, that appreciation brings something, energy in your mind. You will think, all right, yes, I'm something special.
Yeah.
I think my Catholic university will still keep up that spirit.
Yeah. I mean, that's great to hear. Me, myself, I'm Christian.
Yeah.
So I've been Christian for like almost 2 years now. Almost 2 years. And how I came to my faith was kind of similar from what you were saying. I actually met a different society.
Yeah.
And I went there because at the time I was a bit of a loner. I didn't have any friends. So my motive was I just want to like be around people. And I always believed in God, but I never really like followed any religion. I just thought, okay, there's a God, but I didn't really pay much attention, So I was like, if I go to this society with like people who believe in God, maybe, I'll make some friends from there. And then the people who were running it, they were really kind, really friendly, and they just like spoke to me about the gospel, the good news.
Right.
And I didn't like, I don't know, I wasn't really like listening at first. I wasn't really listening. I was just coming there for like the company and the food and all this stuff. But then when I actually like, I don't know, I actually started thinking about it. And like you said, we have time for partying, for for all this other stuff.
Everything,
But
yeah.
exactly. But making like one hour, just 1 hour for God, honestly, and I can say it's changed my life.
there
Honestly.
you go.
Yeah. So, thank God for that.
Yeah.
So when you were studying, did your faith play a role into your studies? For me personally, like when I'm studying, for example, if I'm doing like an assignment, I'll like pray over it. And that's what I'm trying to ask you. How did your faith and your studies work together when you were a student here?
So I can say that it really keeping both in together. I say that I was being very calm because I was able to foster both my spiritual life as well as my personal life and student life together, because there were times, because it's a new country for me. It's a new way of. It was just not your bachelor's degree, you're doing your master's. So sometimes there were times where I didn't understand what the lecturer talk about, or things like, they are asking about questions. Sometimes they give deadlines, assignments. And I just missed out some assignments. But these times I went back, I have this community, share my problems to the chaplain over there. So they pray for you. And it was just kind of very disciplined for me. Then I understand, all right, this time I'm going to keep for my work. This many hours I'm going to work in a week. This many hours I'm going to study. This many I'm going to put for my personal life. So that was really good. I think that discipline, I got it within that Catholic group. When you talk about, as you said, you are a Christian. So that's what when I tell about people, because I've been Catholic, very orthodox. My family come from. My wife was a Christian. I mean, she is a Christian, but she come from other background. So that's what I tell to people, irrespective of you being any Christian, you've been, any kind of Christian, you've been Catholic, you've been Protestant. End of the day, we all believe in Jesus Christ. That matters. That matters.
Amen. Amen to that. How would you compare your life experience when you were in India to the UK as in terms of liberty and cultural expressions?
When you talk about cultural things, I think that is almost the same, because in India we got the liberty to freedom. You can worship Christianity, Islam, Hinduism. So when I came into the UK, I thought like it might be just, it's been a Christian country earlier, so just churches. But when I came, I see mosque, I see temples. And when I say, I still remember that at that time I came in the COVID time, and at that time Boris Johnson was the Prime Minister. I saw he been going to temples. And then I see Rishi Sunak, Sadiq Khan exchange the Diwali gifts. And they're going to mosque. So I understand it's the same over here. They have the liberty. They respect you. That's what I'm a person, like, you respect my religion. I respect your religion.
Exactly.
So that's culturally I can say that it was perfect. But on the other side of when you talk about the liberty, I mean, we are much free here because you're gonna decide about your life. Compared to India, you need to go to the different kinds of civilizations, and you have that restrictions. It's just not your, starting from your dress, starting from your food. I mean, here there is nothing like that. But I believe that should be there everywhere. And that's what I really love about United Kingdom, because you need to decide. And someone can't tell you that Monday you can't eat this food. Tuesday you are not going to eat that. No, it's your personal life. It's your personal choice.
Exactly.
I mean, I stay in a house where it's my house owners are Muslims. Me and my wife, they just told them, we eat pork. Is there any problem in that? He said, do not tell that to my mother. You can just cook whatever you like. But the good part, the beauty over here is the ground floor is Hindus, the first floor, the Muslims, and the next floor, it's we. So you got Christian, Muslim, Hindus, and that's in harmony. We live harmony, peaceful. There's no problem in anything. It's been more than 2 years. We all stay in one roof, under one roof. No point of problem. So that's how I like the liberty over here. So I think that is something which other countries, like, if you go back to Asia or any other countries, they can adopt. Yeah.
Oh, I thought someone was knocking. Kind of related, kind of unrelated, but which part of India are you from?
Oh, I'm from down south, Bangalore.
Okay.
Yeah. Where the IT boom all of a sudden.
Oh.
I still remember the dialogue of President Obama. He was talking one day, I might outsource the work to Buffalo in New York, not to Bangalore, India.
Oh, gosh. I didn't even know that.
He said that, yeah.
My mum, she's actually from the Punjab.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, I'm half from India myself.
Oh, right.
I just ask in case there's anyone who might be from India or anyone,
Right.
Yeah, I've never actually been to India, so I can't really make too many comments. But
I think you should visit once. It's a one-time must visit. Yeah.
I mean, in terms of what you were saying, I can speak about the United Kingdom. I've lived here all my life. In terms of liberty and cultural expression, like you said, it's very like everyone's accepted, and I feel like as time is going on, it's like more and more people accepted. Even in my own family, like everything's mixed. Like my mom, she's Sikh. My brother, he's Muslim, and I'm Christian. And we're all like we're not fighting each other because of our faith or anything. So I honestly totally agree with what you said.
Yeah.
Earlier on, I couldn't think of how to word the question. It's literally right here. Anyway.
That's all right.
So did your faith play any role into shaping your career? Would you say?
I will say that I've been a bit of more disciplined. That's what I will say, because I can say that has played an important role in my personal life when I went through this scam. I was mentally down.
Yeah.
I mean, my wife, my mother, my sister, they're all trying to, talk every day. They were really scared, I might do something.
Yeah.
But I was really strong. But at times when I think about it, I think, that was all my savings I got from India. But then that's what I realized, that there might be a way I can make it out. And what made me literally keep going was the faith. I used to go to church every Sunday. And whenever I used to get time, I started listening to the gospel. And, there's a person called Joel Austin. So I listened to him. The critics say that he talks more positivity than gospel. It's the other part of the story is, but yeah, he gives you good news, So that keeps you moving. And he keeps you telling that no medicine, nothing, no doctor decides about your life. It's a God.
Yeah.
So that I can say that it was interconnected to my spiritual life. And I believe that a certain time that played a very, very important role in my life.
Yeah. So in the summer, I had a situation. It wasn't really similar, but it was to do with money. So I was sick, actually, and I was unfairly dismissed from my workplace because I was ill. Okay. They tried to paint it like it wasn't because of that, but it was.
All right.
And honestly, at that point, like I didn't have any money, I didn't have any income, so I was getting so stressed. And obviously, I can imagine your situation is like way more.
That's
but
right, yeah.
For me, like I can kind of understand where you're coming from, because I had that financial stress, because we need money for food, for rent, for all this stuff. So I was just like, okay, I've lost my job, and I was like desperately trying to find another one, and nobody was accepting me. So I was getting really, really like panicked. And I started to get really stressed and anxious and all this stuff. But, like you said, your faith helped you, my faith helped me. And I just tried to pray about it and have the faith that somehow God is going to see me through this, somehow.
Yeah.
And I can say that the whole time, I haven't been working since July, so I still don't have a job now. But I haven't gone without anything. Like, literally, my rent has been paid, I've had food, and sometimes I have to stop and be like, how? But honestly, God is good. Like, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, I went into my overdraft, and I was like £200 in my overdraft, which I hate that because,
I know.
Overdraft, you have to pay it back, you pay interest. It's disgusting. It's gross. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to just trust in God, because I had no income. So I was like, how am I going to pay my overdraft back? I don't know. But then one Friday morning, I woke up and I had £500 in my account. So I was like, what? And my old workplace, they just gave me like a final payment, probably to make me not tell anyone what they did, because it's illegal. But so honestly, God has provided for me like everything's been sorted, and I get amazed.
No.
Honestly.
When you said about it, I still remember when I quit the job. I was going through this deep trouble. One fine day, I'm getting a letter from HMRC saying that you have paid extra tax. There you go. That's the beauty of God.
Yes.
I still remember I got 1,200 quid. There you go.
Amen.
That's
Amen.
That's all you need.
God is good. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Good,
So, Amit, thank you so much for coming on today and talking about your amazing company, your faith, and everything. And, like I said, and like we both said, if anyone is watching this and can relate, or you've gone through something similar, be sure to seek out help and, just don't go through it alone. That's never good.
Yeah.
And for anyone who might have faith, lean into your faith in hard times. Honestly, that God is really helpful. Like he's always going to be there, always going to help you. So, praise the Lord. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on. If you guys enjoyed this episode, be sure to check out our YouTube channel for a lot more. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification button. And if you would like to show us some extra support, be sure to subscribe to our Patreon page, where you can find out more about new episodes and get new merch. So, thank you guys for watching, and we hope you have a great day. Bye.